Hey everyone, welcome back to another Class 1A video. Today we're going to be diving into everything UA Traitor now that it has officially been revealed in the manga. So before you go any farther in this video, or you have not been all the way caught up on the manga through the actual UA Traitor reveal, do not go any farther without having that and other major moments spoiled for you. So with that disclaimer out of the way, we are going to be diving into what we actually thought about the reveal, what do we think about kind of the misdirection, and all the hints leading up to the actual Traitor reveal. But guys, it's finally wrapped up. This was a thread that a lot of us didn't know was ever going to be wrapped up. It's kind of been a big meme in the community, but it is coming to an end. And does this make you guys feel like My Hero actually might be wrapping up soon with one of the big threads finally being concluded? Or did Horikoshi just want to write this off and be done with it so people stop asking about it?
I think it makes sense as like the culmination of the story is finally going to the end. You need to wrap up like all the loose ties that you have. But I don't know. I'm sad, man. This is just like an ongoing meme for us for such a long time of like who's Trader? Are they finally going to reveal it? Like it's never going to be revealed, and now it's done. Now it's just done. We
Or
gotta
did
find new memes.
Horikoshi just forget? Like that was my favorite. That was my favorite. Just in thinking that Horikoshi just was like, you know what? No, I'm not gonna. No, screw it. Like I wrote it, and that's it. We're not going back to it. But no, yeah, I am a little. But again, it makes sense. It makes sense because we are coming to that head. But I didn't want it to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I mean, I thought there was a chance that My Hero Academia was going to end with us never knowing what it is, or even like a couple of chapters ago, Nezu kind of said something odd, kind of dismissing some of it. I'm like, okay, maybe that's just the wrap up. But I mean, yeah, I agree. This was a meme we had so long, and this was our most popular video on the channel. So now no one's gonna be searching who is the UA Trader because we all know it's Aoyama now. So that there goes one of our most popular videos, and goes one of our biggest memes. So God forbid we're actually going to have to be funny about something else now. So we'll have to figure that out. But yeah, I am happy it's wrapped up because I really didn't think it was going to be. And I think how they did it was masterful. I mean, kind of the Hagakure reveal in the first chapter, everyone freaked out. Everyone thought it was her. I mean, that was our big prediction that we thought it was Hagakure. And then opening up the next chapter and it being Aoyama instead, loved it. It was a masterful way to do it. And I think Horikoshi couldn't have really done it a better way.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like the last chapter he just set it up so well for that like real like you swap a rue at the end or whatever to get the real reveal in. I don't know. I loved it. I thought it was really good. It definitely caught me off guard because like the Hagakure one would have been like, okay, cool. Like we all predicted it. Like we knew this. It was like it's like the Dobby thing, right? It would have been like, oh, this is a big reveal. We're all shocked that it actually happened. But yeah, like this was everyone's fan theory for the longest time. But at the last second, the swaparoo, I love it.
Like a perfectly done fate. Like he knew how to pander to his audience, being like, here it is. Here's what everybody like, because Horikoshi is a guy that like he has a social media presence. He's not unaware of what his community thinks, and he just like handed it to them on a silver platter, and it like just rug swept it. It was great. And we lost our minds in our Slack channel too. Like when it happened, we're like, we were right, we predicted it, and then yeah,
I mean,
no,
that was
didn't
the
happen.
entire internet. I mean, everyone
Yeah.
was freaking out. Everyone was calling it. And even if it would have been Hagakure, everyone still seemed excited about it just because they got the reveal. I think it's some
Mhm.
things that, like, it was so obvious, so many people thought it was her, that you could have done it in a way where no one didn't really care because it was such a common theory that it was her. But people still cared. So people really loved the Traitor theory. So that how the fact that everyone freaked out, I even saw people saying that, hey, you gotta apologize to my boy Aoyama, just to flip it the next week to make the reveal even better. Again, could not have done it better. And I think it really was one of the best ways to wrap up this thread. Obviously, it's not done because I'm kind of assuming they're going to take advantage of knowing who the traitor is now and maybe try to do that to find him. Like, obviously, this traitor arc is going to go on. We're only through the actual reveal. So the chapter we've read, kind of with our instant reactions, is just with Aoyama being revealed, talking to Deku, kind of with his parents being there playing dumb. That's all we know. We don't know what actually happens next. So again, I think that's going to be a big part of the story going forward, since Horikoshi made pretty much two whole chapters of it being a big thing. So now I think it's going to be a big thing going forward, and the reveal is great. So I'm very excited for the overall thread being coming to conclusion.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think it makes the most sense because the traitor was never going to be somebody in the class who was actually a total double agent. Like that was never going to be the thing of like somebody being a secret villain. This makes the most sense. Like I think everyone had the thought that it either one was going to be an accident, someone was accidentally the traitor, or two, like they're being manipulated. And I think it totally makes sense for everyone in class because we're so deeply entwined into these characters and they're like been with each other now for almost a year, right? Like
Yeah.
this is a full school year. Like they've been together
Yeah.
for a full year. They've lived together for a full year at that. So I don't know, it definitely makes sense that it was set up this way of like, no, we're just being manipulated. We really don't want to do it. And then the fact that they don't want to do it, you can then go, all right, well, we'll save you. Just like now be the double agent, triple agent. I don't know which one it is, but
I
like
think it'd just be a double agent.
yeah, be a double agent for us.
Yeah.
Like I think it sets itself up for that just super super well.
Yeah, I think the only case of like maybe the true like true secret or like planted villain was again the whole Hagakure theory. That was the whole thing because she's just so hard to keep track of. But that's of course all been basically dismissed, right?
Yeah. I mean, as far as we know, I mean, I get
Is it-
there was
no,
so
is
What
many
if there
kind
was
of
two traitors? What if
Yeah,
there was two traitors?
there was so many clues kind of pointing towards them. But speaking of clues, there were a lot of things pointing towards Aoyama, just like there was a lot of things pointing to Hagakure. But then when we're looking back at it, I think Dylan's like compiled a whole list of it. That there was a lot of things looking back at it that kind of pointed towards being Aoyama, right, Dylan?
Yeah, so I'm gonna take you through it basically in a timeline order. So the first thing that happens is at the USJ incident. So Aoyama's just not here. Like he just like can't be found during the USJ incident. So that's like a big red flag there. And then the second one is the forced training. So at the forced training, there is like a map that tells like where all the students are that the villains use. Aoyama's not even on that map. And when he's like confronted by Dabi, now this is kind of like Dabi is like walking past him and he sees him behind the bush, but like you can also like chuck it up to like he doesn't really see him, but he definitely sees him there. He sees his Aoyama and then chooses to ignore him because of that. And then there is a scene, I think, right before the attack happens, of where everyone's laying in bed, like in their little like cots or whatever, like in the boys' room, of where they're like all spread out throughout the floor. There's one bed that's missing, that has a missing person in it, that is just empty. Now we know that it's definitely Aoyama there. Now
And
going ahead.
Sorry,
go
someone
ahead.
with that, I actually I want to go on and do this as like homework for myself, or if someone knows, let us know in the comments down below. So one of the school briefs actually covers, I think, part of that night leading up to it. So I wonder if they make any kind of mention of like another additional hint in there of like, hey, Aoyama said he had a stomach ache or something like that day. Something that I have homework, or if someone already has that answer from school brief number 2, I'd love to know, because if they tease this in even material outside of the main series, I would love that even more. So again,
Yeah.
who knows? But a school brief does cover part of that night.
Yeah, that would be really awesome if it did, because those aren't even written by Horikoshi. So if like Horikoshi was able to loop them in on that like little detail, that would be really really cool.
Like, go on, sorry.
But yeah, so after that moment is basically where Nezu or President Mike, I always forget which one said it, but I think it was President Mike, was said that there's a mole. Like after the incident, it was like, all right, well, USJ happened and the forced training incident happened, so we definitely have a mole here. And then from there, it kind of calms down a little bit. And the only other thing that's like kind of sus that comes out is with the cheese incident in Deku. Now, this is really weird because like Deku gets a thing of cheese that says like I know, and then when confronting Aoyama about it, it's like kind of played off. But the thing to remember there, like I think the important part, is that at this moment Aoyama knows that Deku was not born with a quirk. He knows that he has one for all, and Aoyama wasn't born with a quirk. He was given his quirk later in life, and so like the fact that he had this like kinship with him and he wanted to reach out to Deku, even though he knew Deku was his like main like antagonist, I guess, like in the situation,
Yeah.
totally makes sense now. But was a complete red herring at the time, because when you look at it, it's like, oh, he's just being weird. Like Aoyama's just doing weird stuff.
And yeah,
So
I love all of it. I mean, it makes sense. Again, it wasn't super obvious, but enough things to kind of make it like when you look back at it, like, yes, it makes sense.
yeah, and two other things that recently happened, of where they looped it back in. So in the latest volume that came out, so all the chapters, or sorry, all the volumes have people's faces on them, for all the different My Hero chapters. And this one has like Aoyama looking uncomfortable. Maybe is the
More
best
than
way to.
usual.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he looks weird on it. He has like a frown or whatever, and so like that's a clue right there. And then finally, when Deku came back and everyone was having these heart to heart moments with him, and like, oh yeah, you changed my perspective, Deku. I love you, Deku, which is Mineta, what Mineta said because Mineta loves him. Aoyama didn't say anything to Deku here, and that was like the final red flag of like, all right, this is it. Horikoshi's ready for the reveal, and then he reveals it. So plenty of evidence there to actually back it up, though most of it is kind of front loaded into like when we were really thinking about the traitor,
Yeah.
aka during USJ and the forest training, which makes sense because those are the two incidents that led up to it.
Yeah. Again, I think I love all those kind of hints, and a lot of those I don't even remember, or I don't think I even noticed. So I think again,
Yeah.
but with it being on hiatus so long, it definitely could have been like, yeah, Horikoshi totally loved the idea. Like, yeah, I actually don't love this thread and put it away, or that he just set it up forever ago and he said, I'll reveal when the time is right. So we'll never know unless he kind of does like a post like conversation about the Traitor arc, which I'm sure a lot of people have questions on. But
Now, what are the odds that he reverse Uno'd it of where he set up the idea of a traitor, but he didn't really like write all this in place. These are just like convenient things that happened that looking back at the evidence from the community, he was like, you know what, I think this makes the most sense. And then went with that.
don't believe that. I
What's
think
the odds?
Horikoshi 5%. I think
I-
Horikoshi is too into his characters, and the fact that the second we met Aoyama, that his stomach issue was baking, and now we know that his stomach issues because his body isn't made for his quirk. I think Horikoshi had that in mind that Aoyama was given a quirk almost from the beginning. So that's why I think him forgetting and all that, I think it's a funny meme. I don't think it's real because he's the only really person we've seen that has adverse kind of reactions to his own quirks. So Horikoshi would have had to have an answer from that from the beginning.
I would actually reject that because one, Uraka definitely has an adverse
Okay,
reaction to
fair.
her quirk,
Yeah.
and two, Mirio's whole thing was the fact that like his quirk was like not useful and like it was almost working against him until he learned to actually use his quirk, which I think they could have been setting Aoyama up for that of like, here's like a character who just can't use his quirk correctly. They could have set him up for like a thing of like, oh yeah, he learns to actually use his quirk over time.
Yeah,
That's a possibility, but I do think the fact that his body was rejecting it, I am pretty sure that Horikoshi had this from the start.
Yeah, it's even like even Shoto too was another one too. Like if he used his
Yes.
if he used his ice side too much, he got basically frostbite, right? So there was enough. I'm curious if he put enough contingency plans that depending on how he wanted to kind of like it's kind of hard for me to believe that he had this overarching story of a traitor since like day one. But I wonder if he put enough contingency plans with various characters, definitely not all of them, but enough that he could be like, oh, okay, I can make this believable with this character, or I can make this believable with this character, right? That's what I'm curious about. Like if Aoyama just was the choice because it just kind of worked out, or it was always Aoyama. You know what I mean?
Which
Yeah,
would make
because-
sense because he did say how many times that he's extended the series because of how popular it is. So there's a good
Yeah.
chance that he might have wanted to wrap this all up, and it would have been easier to wrap it all up forever ago. But when he had to extend it for however many more chapters, that he had to change things up. So I think maybe a little bit of both. I think a lot of plans changed for him when he realized that this was going to be one of the biggest series in the world.
Yeah, like like I mean, you start getting really popular, like, all right, I guess we'll adjust the storyboard a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like it makes sense. I don't blame him.
I still think it could have been like they could have chosen Hagakure. Like I 100%
Yep.
believe that they could have justified that. I think the other ones are more of a stretch to actually justify, but in my mind there is 4 options that still could have been viable. It's the Hagakure one, obviously Aoyama, Denki doing it by accident, and then Deku being the traitor accidentally. All of
Yeah.
these are accidental, like not purposeful, except Hagakure. But even then, you could have just said it was Toga.
And like, oh yeah, that too. Yeah, yeah. The thing, you know what? Like, I'm almost happier about this because I'm happy because it's Aoyama because I've been a decent Aoyama stan since the beginning, and now you don't feel like you're not like there's no malice. You just feel bad, man, because he's always just wanted to fit in. He doesn't want to stick out. He just wanted to like get indoctrinated and just and then just live like a normal life. That's all he wanted to do. And this is and he's pressured from his parents. There's so much shit that you're just like, dude, I feel for the guy, right?
It almost makes his character make more sense.
Yeah,
like with
absolutely.
the fact of why he always wants to stand out, of why he is the way he is, it all makes more sense with this reveal being, instead of taking away from a character. I think a lot of people worried about it being a traitor. It's like, oh, I don't want Kirishima, my favorite character, to be the traitor because that's going to ruin him. But how he did it with Aoyama I think it's going to make the character better in the long run, and he's going to give Aoyama almost actually kind of a little moment here to be this double agent, and really we feel for him now, and now he's going to do something good to kind of make it up for Deku. And I think now Aoyama's going to have a better arc, while with a lot of characters, it could have taken away from it. So again, this whole kind of reveal has been masterful, and yeah, him being given a quirk, I love that concept as well, because we haven't seen like the chance that we've never really run into anyone else beside the Nomu that have been given quirks by All For One, or that's like, it just makes sense that there was some undercover family that just kind of had ties to All For One, like in a big, powerful school. It all makes sense.
Yeah, and I think most characters, you have a reason why they could be your favorite character, except Aoyama. Before this, he just sucks. Like, Aoyama just, like, kind of sucks, is a little annoying. He doesn't really do anything. And,
come
like,
on,
this,
man.
It's true, though. It is true. And this is, like, the one thing, because, like, even Mineta sucks and terrible. At least he's funny. Yeah. Like, Aoyama isn't really funny. He just kind of sucks. But now, like, Andrew, like you're saying, this is, like, a moment of where it's, like, this could be a really good character. And now we only have one bad character. Hagakure just does nothing.
Yeah.
Give her a moment too. Give her a moment. Everyone needs.
She got her moment. She was like the covert op to find this out.
Anyone could have done that.
I guess so, but she's invisible. You know what I mean? Like, that's
Mineta's small. He could have hid it in a bush.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been anyone.
It could have been anyone. Whatever.
But overall, I think we all love the traitor reveal. It's been waiting so long for it. I think it was done great. I cannot wait to see how they incorporate in the story, because I doubt they just let this drop. Like, it has to be a storyline for at least another chapter or two of what happens to him and his parents, which I'm assuming, like, we all, like, I think we've kind of made ties to, like, yep, a double agent, kind of going back. Because right now, we either trying to get us to the end of the story, Deku has to find a way to figure out where All For One and Shigaraki is.
Yep.
And Aoyama probably has a way to communicate with them and figure out some of it. And congratulations, we're 30 chapters away from the big fight happening now. So I think this helps speed up the process a lot of finding them, and it also sets up a really good moment.
And now we only have one thing left, and that's Deku's dad. That's the only theory we can latch onto now.
Never.
That's all we got. It's not like we got to make a video about that. We need to make a video only about that. All but right. Like, okay, do we think we lose Aoyama? Do we think he?
No.
Do we think he?
No shot.
I think
you don't think
he has a chance of dying by the end of the series, but I don't think we lose him anytime soon. Like, I don't think he gets kicked out here, but I think if anyone's going to die, I could see him sacrificing himself as his final part of the redemption.
No, Zero. I will put money down. No student will die. No Class 1A student. No Class 1A student will die. I will put money down on that.
Fine, I'll put down money, Kendo, that Kendo dies then.
That's not Class 1A.
I know. It has to be someone big from 1B if you're not gonna kill off anyone in 1A, which I
actually don't think they will kill off a student. 100%. Like they will not. No shot they will, and the reason why is because it's a shonen manga and they're kids, and they will not kill a kid. I do not believe they'll do that.
We all just have a dark secret. We just killed a kid, but like I don't know.
How many children died in Naruto?
Oh, that's Naruto. That's different.
It's still a shonen.
That's also different because like. They're not
Shippuden, they started dying.
But they're not explicitly like, oh, here's a bunch of like high schoolers that are just gonna die. This is like you're clearly placing them in school and like you're giving them an age.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But all right. Any last closing thoughts before we go down some deep tangents here?
I blame his parents. His parents are horrible people.
It's his parents' fault, 100%.
Yeah.
We stand Aoyama, fuck his parents.
Yeah. Aoyama did nothing wrong here.
I agree. All right.
Start the hashtag.
If you guys did enjoy that video at all, please make sure to go down, let us know in the comments, make sure to like, and of course subscribe as well so you're updated on all the other My Hero Academia content that we're doing, always coming out with a bunch of content. So make sure to check that out and all the other videos we have on the channel. But hope you guys enjoyed the UA Traitor reveal as much as we did. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we will see you all next time.